Hello, 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 and hello, and welcome once again to a Prog Reborn. My name is M. Kosler, and this is my progression-style playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV. If you don't know what that means to have a progression-style playthrough, as always, you can type an exclamation point intro into the chat. That'll get you a link to my introductory video where I go over the concept of a progression style playthrough. If you'd like to know when I go live for these things, best and easiest way to get that information is to just go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Get those go live notifications directly to your inbox or wherever, if you happen to be on YouTube often. But you can also join the community Discord. Exclamation point Discord. Get you a Discord invite to the Prog Reborn community. In there I make announcement posts whenever I go live for these things. So that's another way to know when I'm about to go live. Finally, this is not a reaction style playthrough. This is not my first time playing through the majority of this content. So if you are worried about any sort of spoilers between where my character currently is, which is patch 2.2, and patch 6.58, which is the end of Endwalker patch content, the last patch prior to Dawn Trail's release, then this is your opportunity to scoot on out of here, because I may or may not give additional warnings if I bring up any spoiler-related information from where my character would be. That said, if I do decide to bring up any Dawn Trail specific information, so patch 7.0 to 7.05, I will make an attempt to provide additional spoiler warnings for there. Still going to try to be light on that. Again, I don't think that there's too much reason to talk about that. If somebody happens to pop in chat and wants to have a discussion, then I might give some warning for the discussion there. But as far as relating to content that we're going through, especially today, which is, again, mostly just cleanup. Or continuing our chores and cleanup. Don't think it'll end up being that relevant to Dawn Trail information. With all that, let's go ahead and get started. Should point out, I have cleaned up all 20 of the original sightseeing log points in A Realm Reborn. We got our final one, the Invisible City, over here. Sometime over the weekend, I think. And let's just go ahead and read it since it wasn't on stream. The Invisible City, buried underneath a malm of solid rock. If not for a gaping rent torn open by the calamity, these ancient ruins may have gone undiscovered for another 1,000 summers. Scholars sent to Highbridge to study the site are currently of a mind that these structures are not a city, but in fact the tomb of one Lalafuto IV, famed Sultan of Beladia. So this is the ruins in Eastern Thanalan, not the ruins that you see in the Gorge in Eastern Thanalan. I think that's another sightseeing log. No, not Ruins of Silda. Oh, maybe, oh yeah, Highbridge here. There's, no, maybe they're supposed to be one and the same. So there are ruins in the Great Gash in Eastern Thanalan, like there's a couple of like giant statues in the Gash, sort of to remind Sort of reminds you of the old kings, the kings of old, or whatever they're called in Lord of the Rings. But then there's also the ruins where you get ambushed by the Amalja before you fight the 4-man Ifrit fight, the first Bowl of Embers. Bowl of Embers normal, I guess. And that's where that sightseeing log was. So I think with that, our very first thing that we're going to do here is I'm supposed to go back to, what's her name? Millith Ironheart or something Ironheart. Now that I have my first 20, and that's supposed to unlock the remaining 60. And then I'm going to have to be on top of that. I'm also going to need to start being on top of big fishing. Funnily enough, in my introductory log, or in my introductory video, I was super worried about picking and choosing which, which big fish are in a particular patch or not. And it turns out one of the tools out there for, I guess I can just keep going this way. One of the tools out there for tracking big fish windows and logging the ones that you've caught, etc., etc., actually has them categorized by what patch they were introduced to. So I can, if I really want to, and what I already have, picked or filtered down to only big fish that were available from patch 2.2 and before. Here's Millith. Yeah, it was Millith. Let's talk to Millith. Do not tell me, Em. You've traveled to all the locations described in my diary, yes? I can see it in your eyes. You have the air of one who has truly seen Eorzea in all her beauty. From the first time we met, I could sense that we shared a certain bond. Why, I would not be surprised if you were a distant relative. If you're anything like me, I suspect the experience has only served to further kindle your wanderlust. Fear not, for your journey has only begun. Would that I could say I put to paper each and every wonder to be seen in our realm, but no, look closely and notice entries in the log I gave for you, which scarcely aught has been written. Many and myriad wonders remain untouched by the eyes of mortals. To seek them out will require courage and sensitivity that few possess, qualities for which you do not lack, Em. A few words of advice from one explorer to another. By day, by night, under rain, sun, and snow, in joy and in sadness, even the landscapes you know by heart may possess faces yet unseen. Promise me that at your journey's end, you'll return and share your discoveries with me. I would hear your tales that one day I might behold with mine own eyes the wonders you have seen. New entries, considerably more vague. They already were very vague. But we did now get the remaining 60. So I think to start with, let's just go and see what is out there. Let's hide inactive. So we've got a couple that are out there right now. So we've got one at Camp Blue Fog. Camp Blue Fog, that is in Fanland, right here. It's a lookout. 2029. 29. So it's 20.7. 29.6. Right there. Go ahead and pull up the wiki as well. So I get an image of where these are. Sightseeing log. Prog Reborn Vistas. This is number 64. On top of the gate, north side. There it is. Even before airships and engines were commonplace in Eorzea, Amagina and Sons Mineral Concern recognized the potential value of ceruleum and laid claim to nearly all of the untapped deposits in northern Fenland. In an ironic twist, for many years before the Garlean invasion, the concern's biggest customer was in fact the Imperial Army. That marks down one. There's one in Outer Lenosha. The floating city of Nim. Outer Lenosha. This is number 33 on our list. Cliff overlooking Nim at 12.7, 15.1. 12.7, 15.1. So yeah, over here-ish. Alright, so it's right over here. There it is. You can see in your event log, it'll say you have arrived at a vista when you're on top of it. The floating city of Nim, suspended high above the foothills of Mount Ugamoro, is the floating city of Nim, a central hub of a lost civilization which prospered on Vilbren during the 5th Astral Era. The accepted theory as to how the city was torn from the realm involves the over-aspecting of corrupted wind crystals, a phenomenon witnessed late in the 6th Astral Era. Right, this is also where you do one of the Leap of Faiths. And finally, the Fury's Gaze in Kurthus Central Highlands. Kurthus Central. This is number 73. 73 says, inside the cave before you reach the plasmoids. Okay, so that probably means this thing over here. Yeah. It would have been better to go to Mordona, but it's not that big of a deal. Those are the only 3 that are up right now. I think next thing before I start looking at the big fishing, I'm going to get my Allied Society stuff done. Because I bet if I look at big fishing first, I'll get caught up in doing big fishing and run out of time before stream ends. And I basically want to make sure that I get in all of my reputation quests every time I stream until we are finally done with them. So it's in here, inside the cave, before I can see the plasmoids. Look back at the log. Before you reach the plasmoids. 7.9. 7.9. 31.3. So 7.9. Oh, it must be up here somewhere. mean, this is before I see the plasmoids. It just said that I arrived at it. So where is it? Arrived at the vista. There it is. Oh, not before I reach the plasmoids. Not before I see. But yeah. We'll look at it in a second. Now that's the wrong one. The Fury's Gaze. A place holy to all Ishgardians. It is believed that when a man stands within this hidden grotto, the Fury herself will reach deep into the darkest recesses of his soul and lay out his sins before him, allowing the man to repent those failings. Monument Tower was built nearby to protect this hallowed ground from the taint of dragons and heretics. So it's kind of hard to see from here, but if you get real close, right there, tracing it with my mouse. Hopefully I have a mouse. Pretty sure I have mouse. Yeah, there we are. Tracing with my mouse. You see the 3 spears of Halone. Which I think is my patron on this. No, I did Lim Lane for this one. But yeah, right here. 3 spears. I think there are 12 total of these inscriptions. I think they were relevant to patch 1.0, if I remember correctly. I'm saying if I remember correctly as if I was there. I wasn't playing in patch 1.0, but I'm pretty sure I've read or heard that going to each of these spots was part of the Path of the 12 quests that you did. I think in anticipation of the Battle of Cardno or something. I don't know for certain. Right. I said I wanted to do my reputation quests first. And let's switch over to Dragoon. Move on through there. Little pre-warning. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Savage Raid tier for Dawn Trail. So if you don't want to know anything about that, then cover your ears or scoot on out. Up to you. Pick up these quests first. Yeah, the 14s and the 20s are the ones that we need. And then let me summon Qua here. So been week 1 of Savage. I haven't really pushed ever really for trying to get a full clear in Savage in a single week. I've only really had 3 opportunities in not Abyssos. What was the first one called? Anabasios? I won't be able to see it on here. In the first wing of Pandemonium, I hadn't reached End of Endwalker main content until significantly after all that stuff had started. So I obviously couldn't have done week 1 there. And then I think I didn't really know what I wanted to play quite yet. This is when I was still halfway playing Dragoon on my main, because it was what I leveled up with. But after, I think I did like one Zodiac clear in EX, I was like, I'm not really feeling this. I eventually took Bard into Anabasios. And whichever one was the first wing. Took Bard into the first wing and got my full clear there pretty late in the game. It was probably post 7.1. It might have even been, I think it was prior to the unlocks that they do at the right before the next wing opens. But it wasn't much more before that. And then in Abyssos, Asphodelos is the first one, and Abasios is the third one. In Abyssos, I did push pretty hard to try and get an early clear, but, and I think I got to, I either did it week 1 or week 2, not the full clear. Got through the piece 7 in week 1 or week 2, but this was around the time, this was I sort of made my decision to hold off before, because there was the debacle with the DPS check in Abyssos for P8. So I made my decision to hold off there. And then kind of lost, even after they made the nerf, I kind of lost the motivation. I kind of lost the motivation to really try for a clear on Abyssos. I did end up running through P7 multiple times, so I ended up getting pretty close to Bis on my White Mage. I'd moved from Bard to White Mage at that point, but ultimately just did not feel the need or the want to go in to go further. And then when Anabasios opened, I similarly, this one I kind of was doing clears with sort of a half static of friends of mine. And we got, it was kind of clear as the half static because there wasn't really there wasn't really any sort of understanding or commitment to the static. You kind of just would be like, hey, if you just want to, you know, play with the group and PF with the group, you can PF with the group. We'll do prog there, but anyone who is with the group who wants to just clear on their own in PF is totally, they're totally in their right to do so, because there's no commitment to the static. And I thought that was going to end up being fine, but I eventually wanted to work with the group on P11, but didn't. But a lot of my main friends from that group ended up not really wanting to continue for whatever reason. They didn't really give me any reason. They didn't really have to give me a reason. And I kind of lost my motivation for continuing with that, and didn't really have a good motivation for doing it in PF. That was around the time that I decided to, trying to think if the timelines fully add up. Whether I oh right, that's this. I was wondering what this quest was. I think that was around the time that I decided, or I started putting in the initial thoughts on this whole project, this Prog Reborn project. I've been thinking about this idea for a while. So I put together some docs, went through some patch notes, stuff like that, to try and figure out what I would want to do, what sounds interesting, if this would even be something that interesting or that fun to even do, stuff like that. I think here, so bringing it back to Dawn Trail, the Dawn Trail Savage Raids. Honestly, I think because I've heard that it's fairly easy, and that's obviously a gut reaction made by folks who are world-class raiders, trying for world firsts, stuff like that. Ooh. Was this a tin? Let's see, well, what do you have? Okay, this is a 20. Need to remember. And then I think it's you who has the 14s. Yeah, you have the 14s. I think essentially because I saw that it was, the initial gut reaction of folks was that this tier was fairly easy, or fairly short. It would be an objective quantifier. That kind of gave me motivation to just give it a go, because I remember being fairly burned out from doing, from trying to grind through Abyssos, and then everything that happened with Anabasios. And I figured if PF ended up being not that annoying to deal with, I'd be fine with giving this Savage tier a go. And so far, my my initial assessment, my pre-go through has been correct. I feel like it is PF. There's not really a ton that can destroy Party Finder. With Abyssos, it was always a struggle on whether or not your Party Finder group would be able to actually get through Devour. And there were definitely a number of mechanics in things like P6 and P7 where they're easy mechanics. They were objectively easy mechanics. But if somebody screwed up, depending on where in the order that they screwed up, depending on where they were in the order of events happening on the mechanic, it could just ruin everything for the whole group. And that often meant really annoying times in Party Finder. Because even if it wasn't just like a single person who was not doing their job right, because all it took was one person screwing up, you could have, you know, one time it's one of the healers, one time it's me, another time it's a DPS. Everybody just trading the screw up. And people also kind of believed that, especially the early tiers of Abyssos were also easy, and so if people weren't really willing to give it a go, to give it that many attempts, and you know, everyone has their own breaking point for stuff like that. Can't really fault them if they're just going to give it the old 3 attempts and then bail. Oh, we have to fight these. Invulnerable. It's annoying. I've talked a ton and I haven't really said exactly how far I've gotten. I got through both M1 and M2 Savage over the weekend. Only raiding Saturday and Sunday. M1 was with the folks that I talked about earlier. And that took a lockout and a half from, not gonna say blind, because I don't typically go into a raid blind, but from no live experience to finishing within a lockout and a half. And then M2 I ended up getting through in, trying to think of total time, because I ended up doing a full lockout with the same folks from M1 on Sunday. They had done a little more on Saturday night, and then they did a little more after the one lockout that I was in. I dropped out to grab lunch, and then they ended up getting somebody else from PF. I don't think they ended up clearing themselves. But after hanging out to see if they needed me, if they were going to continue after I finished my lunch, I ended up going into maybe 3 PF groups. Either 2 or 3, I can't remember. Like most PFs, they blow up pretty quickly. But ended up getting it done within like 8 pulls or so. On my true PF attempts. So that was definitely nice. Ooh, how long does this go? Head here first. I don't miss it. Haven't set foot into M3 yet. I have heard that it can be a PF wall, but I've also heard from folks who are in statics that they don't really see how Party Finder could be failing that mechanic that much. Typically when I hear people talk about that kind of stuff, a lot of times it's way overblown on like how bad Party Finder is, because there's a lot of variance in Party Finder. Because there's just a lot of variance in the skill level of, you know, everyday folks. I need one more of these. I think we're done. But we'll be able to really tell when I get when I turn in one of these. I guess I could just look here. Looks like there might be one more, but no, I guess both of them are just turn-ins for Bago here. Sure. Alright, what does that get me at? These reputations about halfway through. A little under halfway through. So, making pretty good progress. Check the sightseeing log. There's 3 more, all with 8 minutes left. So let's quickly go to Quarry Mill. Number 47. Quarry Mill, it's at 25.4, 21.1. On top of a chimney on a house, farthest from the aetheryte. This one here. Yes, this is it. Land on it. I'll read this since we only have 8 minutes for these. Let me get these and move on. Zaharak, Southern Thanlan. Little Alamigos, our best bet here. This is number 59. 19.3, 20.5. Top of a stone column, jump with a mount. 19.3. 20.5. My guess is one of these things over here. There it is. And then our last one, Summerford Farms. It's Middle Lenosha. This is number 22. Second floor of the inn, top lamp of the left door. Second floor of the inn. Top of the lamp, left of the door. On here? Or is it inside? This lamp? Or on this lamp? I'm gonna look at the image for this one. Yeah, it's over here. Say it's over here. So you gotta go like this. 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 Here. Not mounted. There we go. Mark that off here. When Merwyd Blofuswyn rose to admiral, one of her first decrees included the clearing of large swaths of land for new Lominsan settlements. Summerford Farms and its expansive orange groves is one of those locations. Its name is derived from the man-made crossings required when late spring runoff from Mount Ogumoro causes the Rogue River to swell. We had 2 others from here. That's that one we just read. Here's the quarry mill one. Once a deal had been struck between the Gelmorans and the Elementals, allowing their return to the forest surface, the Elezen began unearthing large quantities of boulders to build the foundations of their new city, Gridania. The water wheels of Quarry Mill were raised to power the hammers, which rendered the massive stones into workable blocks. And we did Floating City already. Zaharak. Loosely translated as Land of Perseverance, Zaharak is the Ford stronghold for the Amalja host based in Zanrak. The Beast tribe believes the scorched plains of Thanland to be hallowed ground blessed by the cleansing flames of their primal deity Ifrit, and as such are intent on driving from the land all whom they deem invaders. Cool. Guesses we're also pretty close to another. Yeah, it's just 3 minutes left for this round, so we're probably pretty close to another one of those. But I should look at. So there's one archer fish. What is this bait? Snurble fly. Snurble fly. Only crafting. Do I happen to have any? I search Snurble fly. I don't. I can obviously craft it. Let's head over to the Free Company. It says it's a goldsmith. Snurble. Here's the Snurble fly. The recipe tree. I've got cobalt ingots and Snurble tufts. Hold on, let's go back there. So where are you? You are in Proggy's block 3. Cobalt ingots. And what about the tufts? You're also in Proggy's on block 3. It's right there. Not interested. Withdrawal complete. Alrighty. So let's switch over to Goldsmith. And let's make these Snurble tufts. It doesn't matter if they're high quality or not. Before we get too much further on that, let's... There's one in South Shroud, and there's one in New Gridania. So let's go do the New Gridania one. Let's head back here. here. Leaved residential district. Is it the Blue Badger Gate? New Gridania. Can't remember which one's the Blue Badger Gate. It's just the main one. So it's inside the city. This is number 37. On the left of the gate, facing the exit. How do I get up here? Jump on the railing from the stairs. Get to the door. Then sprint jump. Door to door, perfect. Nestled cozily within the inn known as the Roost lies the relaxing Carline Canopy, a haven for those seeking respite from travails, or questing's quandaries. Bigaga's gift, the towering water wheel found outside the cafe, powers the saws and lathes of the Carpenters Guild, and is widely considered Gridania's grandest architectural achievement. That big water wheel over there. The other one is at South Shroud Landing. South Shroud Landing. This is number 45. Windowsill beside the hut. See what would be the map. Is that it's 14. $33. 14. 33. Okay, so we're South Shroud Landing down here. Gotcha. It's still going. 8 minutes left. Plenty of time. This one says 14.734. And the text says on the windowsill beside the hut. Here's South Shroud Landing. On the windowsill beside the hut, it's this thing right here. Constructed by Highwind Skyways to serve as a landing for cargo airships, this location was quickly abandoned when the Imperial presence in the area became too large to ignore. Now the site is used as a makeshift market where bandits and poachers peddle their ill-gotten wares far from the eyes of the law. Alrighty. So now with the Snurble Tufts, switch over to Fisher. I don't have my bait yet. With the Snurble Tufts, there is this archer fish that is in eastern Lenosha by the Ageless River. East Ageless River. East Ageless River. Let's see. This also has a map. Saying that that is Kirish. here-ish. It must be this right here. Alright, bait. Switching to snarble tufts. And according to this, is a simple patient hook set. Or sorry, precision hook set. And it's a 1. Yeah, that's the archer fish. How do I know that counts as a big fish? Where's the fishing guide? Dun, dun. Fishing guide? Fishing log. Filter settings. Why can't I set big fish? Maybe look this up elsewhere. Archer fish. Huh. I'm gonna mark it as done. Oh, there we go. I needed to filter it by big. There we go. I did not need to catch that fish. Okay, we've got a fairy queen or butterworm. I already have butterworm. No. Loading minnow. Loading minnow. I do have some. Head to Mordona. This is a blue widow in North Shroud. Got 8 minutes on this thing. I think what I should do is just pull out all of my I think that's all my bait. Blue Widow in Murmur Rills in North Shroud. Murmur Rills is right next to it's this lake or this river going through the center. And it requires the floating minnow. So switch over to that. It's just this body of water here. Off the fucking horse. Oh, I can't get off the horse here. Floating minnow. Here I'm looking for a powerful hook set on a three exclamation point. Two X. Another 2X. Fix that one. Another patience. Hey, come on, baby. Missed. Insufficient gathering rating. What do I have to have? Min observed gathering. 353. Yikes. Look at a couple of these other ones that are 2.2s. 305. So I am a little low on that gathering. Obviously could use some better gear. Let's go and work on that. Some better gear. And by work on, I mean purchase. Well, I don't know about that. Let's take a look. So, as a fisher... Well, what do I have from... Yeah. So everybody currently has pretty crap gear for the gatherers. I think for my crafters, they're doing pretty well. But for the gatherers, I didn't really bother too much with that. So, I think my first place to look... I have a decent amount of scripts. So I think my first place to look will be at the Grand Company. Haven't turned in anything in a while as well. Yeah, we can just toss that. Get all those bots showing up again. I haven't been over here in a while, so I haven't been able to observe. The bots. There's one right there. There's another. There's a ton of crap. Somebody who's just working on their leveling the crafting. Would love the ability to dump a lot of these at once. All right, we finally made it there. Okay. Quartermaster. Take a look here. So if I'm looking for gathering, so there's a fishing rod. Armor. Craftsmanship. Here's gathering. A forager's hat. Is that any better? That's perception. 82. Yeah, that's better than what I have. Craftsman, craftsman, craftsman. Go down one. Let's look over here. Yeah, there's nothing in here else that would give me any more gathering. So back here. Gathering. Yeah, GP is gathering. Gatherer points. We already have a better hat. Choker. Boots. Craftsman. Craftsman. Oh, way down here. Spirit bond gain. Already have better hat. My pants are better. Alright, let's take a look at what this stuff that we just grabbed gives us. Still pretty weak on there. So now there's obviously food that we can eat to give us a bit of a boost, but I think it's mostly gear. Like, these earrings are doing nothing for us. This choker's doing nothing. The Ring of Freedom's doing nothing. So let's take a look. Head. Fisher, sure. I think we have this. Yeah, that's what we have. I think a head's fine. Chest, I've currently got this woolen doublet. Forger's vest, nobody has anything, and when they do, it's extremely expensive. Nothing to craft it with, so where does it come from? Forager's vest. Gonna be a master weaver. Also, it's no, it's level 60. It's 2.4. But it's not even something we could technically use. Raptor skin jerkin. Looks like it's slightly better than what we have. Sure, I can buy it. Not that expensive. Hands. What do I currently have? Fingerless raptor skin gloves of crafting. Is that crafting? Gathering. Felt work gloves. A little bit better. Pick those up. Pants. Nobody has any of those anyways. What about what I've got on right here? Oh, that's not even gathering gear. Feet. Feet, I've already got raptor skin work boots. Like it's the best that we can get. Maybe these fishing wading boots. Where do these come from? I could make these if I wanted. Well, could I make these? I think so. Big things is definitely the earrings. Is my right side here. So earrings. It's too far over anyways. Not even being sold, and when they are, they're super expensive. Need specifically, if I'm getting an upgrade, it needs to be there's more GP. It's not even any there. I could probably make these. I can definitely make those. A necklace. Currently, I've just got a weathered choker. That ain't gonna happen. Raptor skin choker. Sure. This is probably the best that we've got. And then one more ring. Raptor skin ring. Sure. Gathering's still pretty low. Now let's look at some materia. It's the Guridon materia that we need. Go up to level 3. Right. I just want to double check. We go up to level 4. Gathers Guridon level 4. 2.0. What about level 5? Level 5 is 3.0, so I can go up to level 4. Okay, meld. Oh, but you can't take level 4. Damn. By you. No, you can't take it either. So let's look at level 3. Pick these up. I'll pick up the level 2s just in case. You. Puts me over. Puts me over. So does that. So what about the level 2s? There aren't any level 2s. How about level 1s? There are. There. And let's... squeeze some more gathering. Do a couple of these. It's gonna go over, but who cares? I could overmeld, but let's not worry about overmelding just yet. Okay. And then food. Good gathering food. Asada, Ronique, Perception. Anything that gives gathering? There's something that gives gathering. Nasi Goreng. What's this cost? Buy you and you. So with the Nasi Goreng, also hilarious. Got to check if I had any of this, but it's not a huge deal. So with that plus Nasi Goreng, still doesn't even put me to 300. Okay. Let's see, how much gathering can we put on you? Put 3 more there. We can put a little more here. Level 4s, there's level 3. Why can't you take level 3? Is it too low? Maybe that's what's going on. So should have some level 2s. Then I need level 1 there. Squeezed a little bit more out of there. Here, I can rip out the GP. Add a little more gathering there. Here I can rip out the grasp. Add a little more gathering there. Alright, so what of the things that we have, we are maxed out on gathering. That puts us at 307 with the Nasi Goreng. So now let's take a look. We got something. Swift perch with northern krill. Western Lenosha. Let's see whether we can grab this. Assumption is it's just on the other side here. Yep, that's swift perch. And we're looking for a 3x. Come on, baby. No! Come on. What does this say? 317. Ugh. Ugh. Where else can we get? Where else can we get better gear? I could cheat because I'm level 54 and try and get something outside of my range. I have crayfish balls. I do. Let's try this. Central Thanlin, Upper Soot Creek. Central Thanlin, Upper Soot Creek. So Soot Creek, so it's probably Upper Soot Creek would probably be up here. This is a 3x with a precision hook set. Make sure that this is the right fishing hole. Upper Soot Creek, sure. Release the bone crayfish. Dusk goby, not a dream goby. It's patience again. 2x. Probably not the right hook set for that. Looking for 3x. Catching it, whatever it was. Carp. Not on the list. Good old weathered earrings. Good for spirit bonding, but not much else. This is yapping. Just so I'm not wasting GP. Do the regular hooks. It's not a 3. Still in the window. I'll have to look up some gathering sets. after stream to see what options I have. I imagine most people who take on this big fishing journey, unless they did it during unless they did it on content, are doing it significantly later. Therefore, using sufficient or significantly higher level gear for the level of fish that they're trying to catch until it gets to on content fish. Then they got to actually worry about having the right gear. Still got 7 minutes on this window. Come on. Go big or go home. Go big or go home 1. We got at least one of these fucking things. Let's go. You love to see that. Nothing popping up on the sightseeing log. How much time do we got for the stream? It's almost about 2 hours. I think we'll call it there. Got our first big fish. The Dream Goby. King among dusk gobies. And Lord of the Waters of Upper Suit Creek. Excellent, excellent, excellent. We're still in pretty dire straits as far as our gear goes, and I'm definitely going to have to take time to figure out the best way to handle this gear situation. Obviously, being on Dynamis is a problem because there's just not as many people here, so there's not as many people selling gear here. Could be that a dip over to Ether might get me both cheaper options and just more options to choose from, or I might have to work on over melding, but it seemed like we were at the max gathering for basically everything that we have that we can meld already. So it's just gonna be some tinkering to figure out what to do here. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you don't mind leaving a like on the way out, I'd be greatly appreciative. If you'd like to know when I go live, you can always subscribe to the channel. Best and easiest way to get those go live notifications as well. You can also join the community Discord, !Discord. Brings you up a Discord invite link, and all the links that I've talked about in the stream you should be able to find in the video description below if you happen to be watching the VOD instead of the live stream. And yeah, broken record, but what we're gonna have to be saying for a while, there's tons of chores remaining to do in 2.2 before we even talk about things like Second Coil or Hildebrand. But this is a good change of pace from me, at least, from my normal play on my main, coming over here, doing these little chores to make my way through 2.2 and to get on with the Prog Reborn. This is what I signed up for, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you the next time.